Okay? So there's all the problems. Anyone need more time on this? You're okay? Good to go? And then these were the other problems, right? All right. So can I close it out? We're good? Sweet. Let's get rid of that. Hey, yeah, today is Friday. I like that. I'll take that. These 2-day school weeks, I don't know about you, but if we had a 5-day weekend, 2-day school week, that'd be pretty chill. I would like change the whole football season or in any other season that you enjoy. I mean, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be like skiing all the time. You know, there's not even snow up there, but hey, we'll take it. Let's see, there was something. Oh, is that? Nope, not that. We'll go there. Oh, before I do that, I want to go. Okay, so looks like number 51, and of course I was the ding dong turning the lights off, so I can't see it. Does that say, is number 51 negative 30 divided by negative 15? Let's see what we can do with that. Negative 30. Is it negative and then parentheses negative 15? Okay. Whole lot of signs in that one, and that's kind of a silly problem. Things that I might look at on this problem is I might realize that the double negative right in a row, even though one of them is grouped, I think that would tell us that should be a positive, which would mean that would work out like that. And by I think our rules of division, if you had one number, if one number was negative and the other was positive, that would definitely tell you, hey, your answer's got to be negative. And then remember, division's kind of backwards, and this is I think where kids stopped liking math is when about 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th grade they introduced division, and it became like a backwards thing in your mind. And people who became engineers were like, oh yeah, I totally get it, and everyone else is like, oh, that doesn't make sense. Division means if it's written like this, division is this into that, so this goes into that twice. So it's reversed. So it changed the direction of your brain, and that's really why I think a lot of people, once you hit division, got bad, and then they developed the F word, which is called fractions. And I know you guys thought I was going to say something else, but I wouldn't. At least I hope we wouldn't. But fractions were another way of doing division, and that's why he kind of hated the fractions too. But it is what it is. So again, I want to make sure we can go through. We feel comfortable about this. Are there any other questions that didn't get written down that you might have had on that homework, or do you feel pretty good about it? And if I ever go too fast on something where you're like, dude, what did he just say? Just ask. Okay? Sound good? All right. Let's go to some notes. Bring that down. Okay, so this is going to be the second day of our lecture series. I will tell you that 1 week from today we will indeed have a quiz. And I will tell you that if you ever get to a point on a quiz, now there might be sometimes, and I know I'm going to make mistakes because I'm human just like you guys. No way, shape, or form is my time management like phenomenal because I'm this teacher. If I ever give a test or quiz and it's like, oh no, it's way longer than the time I thought they would take, that's on me, and I'll always give you more time as a class the following class period to complete it. And that's an error that I might make. But if you ever come down and you're doing a test and you really gave, the effort that you needed during the time allotted, and it just got to a point where it's like, oh no, the bell rang. Everyone else turned it in. This is all I need you to do. And I think this is kind of cool. And I know a lot of teachers don't do this, but you know what? I get it. Sometimes your mind wandered during a test, and all of a sudden it's like, oh no, the bell rang. Or you're watching a grasshopper, cricket, bumblebee, whatever, and it was, things went just by wayside. From time to time, you might need a couple extra minutes. Is that okay? Do you think that, like, if you were working a job later in life, and your boss came to you and said, hey, how's that project going? If you were to say to your boss, you know what, I apologize, but I think I miscalculated the time needed. I might need a little bit more time. Do you think your boss would be right then and there going, no, you're fired? Probably not, because your boss wants the project done. And you know what? Yeah, there are deadlines that are in place, but sometimes life happens and a deadline might need to be extended. So all I would need you to do on test and quiz, and I'll remind you if we do test and quiz, if you happen to need more time at the end, I need you to put a smiley face next to your name. Now, I'm not going to be like picking it up going, oh, look, someone got a smiley face. No, I'm not that guy. That smiley face is my communication between you and I that you might have needed a couple more minutes to take a second look at it. Does that sound fair? I mean, that's okay. But here's the thing. I would need you to come in on your own time in order to complete it. Okay? And I think most of the test and quizzes in here, everyone will be able to finish in the allotted time, which is great. But from time to time, you might need to put that smiley face. And it's not for less points, and it's not for me to mock you, and it's not for anyone to mock you. That is you making a communication to me saying, hey, you know what? I just want to put a smiley face on it. That just means I need a couple little extra more time just to think through it and to problem solve. Because my goal is for me to get you to enjoy the math, understand the math, but sometimes you might need a little extra. And I'm going to pull this desk forward. Is that okay? Your feet aren't attached to it, right? And the only reason I'm pulling it forward is so I can get the whole board on this screen that's being recorded. Okay, so let's talk about order of operations. Okay, and this is, you might have heard the acronym PEMDAS or Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally, things like that. And it's all these great stuff, but really it's just to tell you that there is an order of events. There's a set of rules that have to take place in order to do a math problem. And this is an algorithm that was created a long time ago that said, hey, do it in this order, get this answer. Do it in a different order, you might not get the same answer. Okay, so there's an order of events that take place. Now, multiplication and division are higher orders. And then addition and subtraction are lower orders. But multiplication also deals with if you have a number raised to an exponent, because a number raised to an exponent is really a multiplication problem. But if it's raised to an exponent, it's like saying, dude, multiplication problem, more important, we're going to make it as an exponent. So like if you had 5 to the second power, or 5 squared, that's the same thing as 5 times 5. But if you saw 5 squared in a problem, that would tell you multiplication, most important multiplication, do this first. Okay? Parentheses or grouping symbols are saying, hey, we're going to put these in, and sometimes it might be in the order that you should do stuff, but sometimes it might change the order. Okay? So on letter A, if you look at it, we have 5 plus 2 and then a 7 in parentheses, and we're going to add 3 to it. Okay? Well, the parentheses stick out to you saying, hey, look at us. We're doing something special. We're grouping. Well, I'm grouping the number 7. Number 7 group. He's going, dude, look at me. Okay? So if I were to have 2 and 7 next to each other, and one was grouped with parentheses, what math operation might kind of stick out to you to do? Multiplication. Okay? So why did they just not stick a multiplication sign here? I don't know. It's math. So there was people before, like math used to be like this, high-end society. I know math. And you're like, good. But they decided to have all these different symbols. So multiplication. So we have the 5 and the 2 times 7. So I know that, hey, chill out. Oh, there we go. That worked. Let's get 14. And then I have 5 plus 14 plus 3. In addition, it doesn't matter. If I have 5 of this and 14 of this, 3 of this, it doesn't matter how I count it up. It's going to be the same answer. So I would just probably go left to right on this problem. So 5 plus 14 gives me 19. And 19 added to 3 gives me 22. So this would have a resulting answer of 22. Does that seem okay? And as I went a little further, we notice on B, we have parentheses. And can everyone see this, or should I make it bigger, or is it okay? Anyone squinting your eyes and getting a headache already, and it's only first or second period of the day? So I have parentheses, so I have multiplication, but then I have division. And multiplication and division are the same order of math, but you have to follow it from the left to the right. And that's what we've done. So if we start the furthest from the left, well, I'm going to do the multiplication. So 4 times 5, that's going to give me 20. Okay, and I'm still going to add 2 to that eventually, and subtract 14 eventually. But, oh, wait a minute. What's going to take place here? Division. So 14 divided by 7 is 2. And there was a subtraction sign, so that's still going to cover that along with it. So I have a 2 there. And then I have 2 plus 20, because remember that first 2. So 2 added to 20 is 22. Excuse me. 22 minus 2 is going to give me just 20. And that should work out nicely. And I think I want to make this a little bit bigger. And I lost something over here, I thought. Where'd it go? Hang on, let me do this. Bring this out so we have our stuff to play with. I put it in a real cool spot that I wouldn't forget. I think that's not it. It's over here. All right, and I think. Oh yeah. All right. So as we come strolling down memory lane, let me just erase a few things. Lost out the eraser. See if this works for us. All right. Letter C. I'm going to increase the size of this a little bit so we can get a little better look at what's going on. Maybe a little bit more. That might be a little bit better looking. Bless you. All right, so now I have on letter C, I have more parentheses. So 6 next to parentheses means we're going to multiply, but let's do what's inside the parentheses first. So I can combine a 3 and a 2, so 3 minus 2 is going to be 1, and then 6 times 1 is 6. So on top, we're still going to wind up with 6, and then I get 2 plus 12, or 2 plus 10, excuse me, is 12, and then 6 over 12, we could reduce the fraction, and that's going to give me an answer of 1 over 2. Does that seem okay? Now we have square brackets and parentheses. Oh boy. Square brackets and parentheses mean the exact same thing.
Well, they're different brackets.
I know. So what? They mean the same thing. So when you have brackets and parentheses, or you have parentheses within parentheses within parentheses, you work it from the furthest inside to outside. So when I say that, we're furthest inside, we're going to go 3 minus 1. That's going to give me 2. So this answer right here is 2, and then I'm going to go 6 minus 2, and that's going to give me 4. And then 3 times the 4 is going to give me 12. Okay, so the square bracket means the same thing as parentheses. It's just a different bracket. So it means the exact same thing. Then letter E, we have 2 times 4, and 4 happens to be squared. And remember I just said this about exponents. Exponents are the same thing as multiplication, but it's like saying, hey, me first, me more important first, multiplication. So what am I going to do first on number E, or letter E? What would I do first up there? Would I go 2 times 4, or would I go 4 squared? 4 squared, because remember, an exponent is still multiplication, but it's saying, hey, me more important. Okay, so 4 squared, that's 4 times 4, which is 16, and then 2 times 16 is going to be 32, and 32 added to 1 is going to give me 33. Parentheses again. What do you think? Where's the first step on letter F? 3 plus 4. Okay, that's easy. That's 7, right? And then 7 times 2 is 16. And we have the minus sign or subtraction, so I'm going to get 10 minus 16. What?
2 times 7.
Oh, it's 14. Oh, thank you. Oh, good. Yeah, good. All right. And then how I presented this yesterday, you have $10 in your pocket with a subtraction sign. That means you want to buy something that costs $14. So do you owe or to get change back? Oh, how much? $4. Yeah, buddy. Oh, get up there. Okay. Oh, hey, one last thing I wanted to tell you. This is kind of off task. If you ever have to use the restroom, you don't need to really tell me. Just go. I get it. Sometimes it's I'm not the guy that's going to give you, oh, you have 2 hall passes. If you don't use this, you get an A on a test. And you're like, oh. And all of a sudden your insides are getting bad. If you ever have to use the restroom, I prefer you use the one across the hallway, but I get it. There might be the super secret, awesome bathroom someplace that you want to use as well. I get that too. So if you have to use the restroom, just excuse yourself. You don't flock in herds. You don't need to guard the door, but it's one of those things. So I just want to let you know, if you do ever have to use the restroom, please by all means just excuse yourself, leave your stuff that on your desk and go use the restroom. Hey, letter G. Back to math. Letter G. We have exponents. We have things that are grouped. The exponents happen to be grouped. We have division, and then we have a low order of addition of 3, and inside the parentheses is a low order of subtraction. But I think we should probably do what first? Exponents. Yeah, good. I understood the yawn. Yawn talked well. Okay, so 4 squared is 16. Okay, so I'm still going to be in parentheses. So I have 16. I'm still going to do a subtraction sign. 2 to the third. 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Times another 2 would be 8. Okay. So I'm going to get 16. I'm going to subtract that from 8. I still have division, and I still have addition. Notice look at that. I have a little bit of work that I'm showing because I'm trying to keep it. I can't do it all in my head, and I'm sorry. What should I still do even though it's subtraction? What should I do first? Should I do what's in the parentheses, or should I divide? Parentheses kind of a higher order, means something. So I'm going to go, okay, well, 16 minus 8, so I have $16 in my pocket. I see something that costs $8. Do I get money back, or do I owe? You get money back. How much you get back? 8. So I'm going to bring this over here so we have a little more room to look at it. So I get 8 divided by 4, and then I'm going to add 3. You want to see where we're going so far? All right, and then from there, I have division and addition. What do you think is the higher order? Division. So 8 divided by 4. Remember, division's backwards. That's where our minds have to go. So 4 goes into 8 how many times? Twice. So then I get 2 added to 3, and I get 5. Sweet. Okay. I think I'm almost done. I hope so. Because I got something really cool I want to show you guys before we start on any assignments. And I think you'll like it. Letter H. Let me clear some of this ink off of here because it's starting to get a little crazy looking. Okay. Can I erase? Is that okay? All right. And there's always the one guy, hey, wait. And it's like, oh. And now I'm on letter H now, so I'll bring it up to the top so we don't have to look at it. I don't know why it takes so long to erase. It's just, that's that. All right. Down. We're on letter H. Oh, good. And this is the last thing. Sweet. I like it. So I have 10, and I have parentheses 5 subtracting 3, and then close parentheses adding 4. And then in the denominator, I have an exponent, and I'm going to multiply that as well. I'd say maybe let's do the parentheses first upstairs. I don't think that's going to mess too many things up. So I have $5. Something costs $3. Do I have change back?
Yes.
So what do I get in the parentheses? 2. So I have 10. Now it's going to be times 2 added to 4. Now let's deal with what's on the bottom. I do have an exponent, and I have multiplication. So should I go 2 times 3, or should I do 2 squared first? 2 squared, because remember, exponents are like multiplication, but an exponent saying, hey, look at me, I'm more important than the multiplication. So 2 squared is 4, right? And then I think I can do that in my head still. So 4 times 3 is going to give me 12. Okay, so I think we're still okay. What's the next order of things I should do? 10 times 2, because remember, if a number is in parentheses and a number precedes it, we're just going to multiply. So 10 times 2, that's going to give me 20. We'll add 4 to that, and then we will eventually divide by 12. Now, hang on. So it's a fraction, and a fraction is division, and on top is addition, but division's a higher order, so that means we should do the division first, but theoretically it's still kind of grouped because 12 is underneath both numbers. Does that make sense? So let's take care of the both numbers because the 12's under both of them, and I think we can make it work because we could, if we separated things, we could go 20 over 12 plus 4 over 12, and we could add it that way. That might be a better way to think about it, but that might be more work. So I think we could kind of say, okay, if we truly could separate this into two fractions and then add them together, that would be great. Or we could just shortcut it because, and again, what I'm saying is this and this means the exact same thing as this. So I know that, okay, we have like denominators, cool, 20 plus 4, that's 24. I get 24 over 12. Sweet, but what if I did it this way? 20 plus 4 is 24, and I get 24 over 12, and hey, they're the same thing. So you don't necessarily have to take this step to show, hey, I can separate the fraction. Okay, that might be something you could do later, but I don't know. 24 over 12 is division, so 12 goes into 24 how many times? Twice. So I get 2 over 1. So should we leave the answer as 2 over 1? Is that okay? I wouldn't be mad at you if you left it like that, but I think you could just simplify it and say, hey, you know what, the number's 2. Does that seem okay? You like that? Okay. All right, you guys want to have a little fun, chill for a few minutes? I think you'll like this. I think it's good. I'll record it too so you can go back and watch it. Let's get rid of all this. Let me close you. Save. Nah, I don't want to save it. So that's gone. We'll keep that, I guess. Let's bring this up. This is pretty cool. All right, so let me tell you about me. You know, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's all about me. I get it. Let's close you. So, a few things about me. Wrong spot here. So this is my 20th year as a teacher. I teach one math class and a medical class, which I told you. I am a science and math coach for Career Tech Ed and STEM teachers, which is all the high schools, and some of the middle schools are getting on board for the district. So in my opinion, I love my job. I think I have a really cool job. Plus, you guys get the benefit of me being your math teacher. So yeah, you're like, whatever, dude. So that's my office number. That's what was given on your paperwork. Something that I didn't tell you guys, I do have an office in this building. So if I'm not in this room, go across the hallway by the boys' restroom. Go down that little tiny hallway by the boys' restroom, and it's in that hallway, and it's office 546A. So if I have not to be here like during first period, you could find me probably over there. So those are just some things to know. And I know I'm boring you guys with stuff. Let's mix this up. What about me? I grew up in Tempe, Arizona. I went to Fuller Elementary School. I went to Fees Middle School, and I went to Marcos Deneza. When I was 10 years old, my dad bought a hot air balloon. That was pretty cool. We used to fly hot air balloons in Arizona. It was awesome. Been to Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. My best friend in the whole world is Matt Owens. He and I have known each other since 1974. Okay, so quite some time. My wife is Susan. She grew up in Omaha, Nebraska, and she went to Westside High School in Nebraska and actually went to school with guys in the band 311. So that's kind of cool. I have 2 daughters. My daughter Leah is in 8th grade, and my daughter May is in 6th grade. They are both in the same middle school now. We live in Littleton, and my kids are in Littleton Public Schools. They went to Runyon Elementary School, which is right next to Heritage High School, Powell Middle School, which is close to Arapahoe High School, and then they'll eventually go to Arapahoe High School. Would I like them to come here? Absolutely. But, you know, I'm also going to let them make their choices too. So it's still kind of boring event here, so I'll deal with that. All right, what else can we go with? Okay. So I worked as following. From ages 10 to 15, I worked with my dad. My dad had a place called Stirrup Draperies, and it was draperies, carpet, wallpaper, mini blinds, vertical blinds, all that stuff, and they manufactured it. It was pretty cool, I guess. Whatever. It paid me money, and Dad always gave me cash, so I didn't have to claim taxes, which don't tell the IRS. From age 16 to 24, I sold car washes and detail lube and oils for a place called Carousel Car Wash, and that was in Arizona. And at the time, it was the busiest car wash in the United States. And we used to have bring police in to direct traffic on Saturdays because we'd have so many cars that we would wash in those days. I overlapped a little bit. From ages 23 to 25, I worked making pizza, I waited tables, and I was tending bar at this family restaurant called Nello's Pizza in Arizona. If you like pizza and you ever go to Arizona, Nello's is a pretty good Chicago thick-style pizza. And then 25 to now, I'm now 44. I have taught high school math and science and medicine and things like that. So that's basically the in and out of me so far. And I know it's still boring. I'm sorry. Let's increase this a little bit for you. Let's see. I love music. I absolutely love music. And you're like, dude, what's your favorite song? And all that. Guys, well, my favorite song in the whole wide world is called Rhinestone Cowboy, sung by Glenn Campbell. Okay, absolutely love this song. What defines me as a teacher? It's by Frank Sinatra. It's called My Way.
Play the song for us.
You look it up. My favorite rock and roll song is Love It Loud by Kiss. It's awesome. Love the song. Plus, it's so loud and it's so cool. The song that always reminds me of high school is a song called Never Say Goodbye by Bon Jovi. And then the song, and if you ever get it on iTunes, there's a song by Michael Jackson called Streetwalker. The coolest thing about it, if you ever upload the song, I don't care if you like Michael Jackson or not, if you ever get the song, put it in your iPod, put your earbuds in, turn it up a little bit, and go walk around. And no matter who you look at, if they're running, jogging, walking, crawling, skipping, have a cane, doesn't matter. They're all walking to the beat. I kid you not. It's like the coolest song. And it's got so many different beats going on. So you're like walking, going, okay, fat old lady, yeah, look at that old guy with a cane. He's walking to the beat. You're like, holy cow, how did the guy make the song that walked to the beat? So it's pretty cool. So those are just a few things about me. That's kind of fun. I want to talk a little bit. I think the next slide is, I first started teaching high school in Las Vegas. And I taught a place called Las Vegas Academy. And Las Vegas Academy was a magnet school. Now, Las Vegas, Nevada, is a relatively large metropolitan area. It's actually called Clark County, and it's the entire county, which is the school district. And that encompasses Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Green Valley, Boulder City, and things like that. It was, when I was there, the 5th largest school district in the United States. Okay, so Las Vegas Academy, because of budget cuts, they said, hey, what we want to do is we want to create magnet schools throughout the district. And Las Vegas Academy was the magnet school for people who are good actors, good singers, good musicians, good artists with clay, drawing, ceramics, anything like that. Okay, so what they did is, of the 55 high schools when I lived there in Clark County, the best and brightest would come to our school. Okay? So I remember I got hired, and I told the principal, I said I'd like to drive up and meet you. And he said, oh, absolutely. And I drove up the following day because I lived in Arizona. And it was 3.5, 4-hour drive away. So I drove up there, and I met him. I met the math department chair. Her name was Gail Cannon, great person. And she said, once they offered me the job and I signed off on my contract, and they were all happy, that they didn't have to work for another math teacher, they said, so Gail says, hey, I'd like to take you over and show you the campus. And so we go walking over to the theater. Now, our theater is big. Okay, our theater is a good-sized theater. Okay, it's like 900 seats. That's unbelievable for a high school theater. Las Vegas Academy, 4,000-seat theater. It's not small. And I go walking in, I'm like, hey, what are all these kids doing here? Is it a summer? She goes, oh, yeah, these kids just love to be here, though. They're doing acting. There's a kid up on stage. He's about this tall. He's a sophomore in high school. He's got big round glasses. And he's up there, and he's tap dancing, and then he starts singing, and then he starts doing some other dancing stuff, and then all of a sudden he busts into an impersonation of Jimmy Stewart. He's a guy from It's a Beautiful Life. And so I go walking down, and Gail Cannon, my department chair, says, "Hey, Matt, come here. And he comes walking up, and she goes, You're taking pre-calculus during second period, right?" He goes, "Oh, yeah, because they used to give out their schedules at the end of the school year." He goes, "Well, this is Mr. Stirrup. I'd like to introduce you." And he steps down and goes, and he does this Jimmy Stewart impersonation for me. I thought it was awesome. He's like, "Oh, very nice to meet you." And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. He's pretty good. Well, his name is Matthew Gray Gubler, and you might have known him from Criminal Minds. Okay? So he's kind of made it in life. Now, let me go around a little bit. So Ken Walcott, his best friend is known as Schaefer Smith. You might know Schaefer Smith as Neo. Ken was on American Idol, second place, season 1. Ken and Schaefer always hung out in my room. Coolest kids in the world. Beautiful singing voices. Okay? Baron Vaughn I also had. You see him all over Comedy Central. And then we have Lamisha, Camila, and Norish. They sang beautifully together in this beautiful trio. When they were in high school, signed a multi-million-dollar record deal to form the group 702. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, because these kids had me, look at that. Some other kids. So Mike Spadoni, I had him. He's in a band called Weird Science, who 3 years ago toured with Sheryl Crow and opened for Sheryl Crow. I thought that was kind of cool. Now, JJ, this is Jennifer Rogers. She and I went to church together, grew up together. She does a lot of stuff on Broadway, does a lot of stuff on some sitcoms. She's been on like 2.5 Men. She's been on that show. She's done a couple other things. Jason Newsted went to my high school. He was the second bass guitarist for the band Metallica. And he was an unbelievable bass player, and I loved having him in high school. And like he was a senior and I was a freshman, so like we were like the best of friends. He had no idea who the heck I was. So, and then John Cornell, I also taught him. John Cornell, that guy right there, plays for a band called Hugo, which is a pretty popular show. That's actually him on the stage of when Jay Leno did Tonight Show. So he's on that. So I thought that's pretty cool. Let's see, who else? The Refreshments. I grew up with them in Tempe, Arizona. The Gin Blossoms. I went to high school with these three. This is my logo from high school. Oh, and then Ratuna Wesley. She's on the show True Blood. She was also a graduate of Las Vegas Academy. So the school is kind of prestigious, some of the kids that they had there. So, and this is just a collage of other kids that I've taught. I think this is pretty funny. His name's Tracy Blackwell and Elena. And I had them both in math class. He got married. Look, he's holding his youngest upside down in a family photo. I think it's kind of a beautiful picture. But a whole lot of other people. Let's see. You guys might know Shane Callahan. He is played for Auburn and chose to sit a season. Now he's at CU playing for Boulder. Let's see. Emily Pajwe, professional volleyball player now. Tyler Stanger, pretty cool kid. Teen Magazine came to Las Vegas Academy. So that's Gabrielle. So they did a thing there, and that was kind of neat. Molly Ryan, one of my favorites. She's an awesome kid. I also coached soccer for many years when I lived in Reno. That was my second job. Conrad Rotana, he lives in Costa Rica now. He's a wonderful soccer player. Let's see who else we got. I mean, just a whole bunch of different people up here that I've taught. You know, every one of them has some sort of influence on my life and created me to be who I am today. I did perform Kiss, and that is me singing right there in front of Chaparral High School, in front of 2,000 students. And we did perform Love It Loud and Rock and Roll All Night. Xavier was on drums. He was a junior at the time. Jose's on bass. He's a senior. Bradley was on guitar. And we got in trouble because it was too loud. And I looked down and I said, if it's too loud, you're too old. AC/DC lyric. So that was pretty cool. I also performed, that was me, Xavier, again, he was on drums. That was my last year. Elena, pretty cool story about Elena. Unbelievable musician. So she's a senior now at Chaparral High School. Her father grew up with Gene Simmons, and that'll make sense here. Let's see, Eric was rhythm guitar, and Griffin was lead guitar. And we performed. I sang both of these songs in front of the last year I was at Chaparral. I did Beastie Boys' Fight for Your Right to Party. That was pretty cool. And then I did Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home. And I did front and back end pianos as well, sang. So those are both pretty cool. I'll post those videos up on Mr. Stirrup's YouTube page so you guys get a kick out of watching those. That is me after I did Kiss. This is me chatting with Gene Simmons. How cool is that? This is how much the ticket cost. It's $1,250. It was free. Cost me nothing. And this was a picture from my seats at the concert. Pretty cool, huh? You like?
Sure.
That's a little bit about me. So, for next time, I would say, let's see. It looks like working with linear expressions, it is number 1 beat. It's only one side. Only one side. So it looks like 24 problems. Don't do the backside, but I will check that off on Monday. What else is due on Monday? Yeah, email me. Get that done. Take care of it. It's not that hard to do. Plus, I'll put those 2 videos up. So you're allowed to critique me on those videos. So I'll be singing in one of them. Crank up the speakers. It's kind of cool. Your parents think I'm crazy. And then I will tell you that when I did Beastie Boys Fight for Your Right to Party, I'm going to blame this on drinking 5 Rockstar energy drinks and 9 Mountain Dews before I did it. If you know the song, it starts out with dum-dum, just a real hard chord, and I go, kick it! And I come up like this, and everything turns white in front of me, and I can't hear anything. I'm like, I did. I missed the whole, you wake up late for school, man, you don't want to go. I missed the whole first line, and then Eric Graffman comes in and says, yes, Mom, please, but you're still so, and then I did the rest of the song. But it was so weird because I was so pumped. I was like, yeah, this would be awesome in front of all these kids. And it was the perfect kick it, and then I like this, and it's like, everything's white. And I actually go step back. I'm like, it was weird. So I blame drinking way too many energy drinks. So that is a little bit about me.